All right, guys, we're back again. Tonight we have a very special guest. I am hyped to have Pat Sabatini on 15-3. He came off a tremendous victory off of Jamal Emmers. First off, Pat, thank you so much for joining our podcast tonight.
Thanks,
Thank you for having me on here, man. It's an honor.
Of course, man. So my first question I have for you, how on earth have you got yourself into this crazy MMA world? Like what is your whole background and all?
So, my parents got me into karate at an early age because I was getting bullied, and on top of that, I was very, very high strung, very wiry as a kid, and it definitely calmed me down. My first sport that I ever played though was hockey. I come from a family of hockey players, and right around 9, 10 years old, I gave up hockey. Broke my dad's heart. He wanted me to be a hockey player, but from there got into jiu-jitsu. Then years later got into wrestling and had my first amateur fight at 17, and turned pro at 23, and now I'm here.
That's awesome. Okay. What position were you in hockey, if you don't mind me asking?
From what I remember, I was right wing.
Right wing. Okay. All right. Yeah. You were like a John LeClaire then. Okay. I like it. All right. So I also come from a boxing background, just following it and also covering all the up and coming guys. So I also like to ask this to the MMA guys that we do have on. Talk about your amateurs, some of your achievements, and when did you know that you were ready to go pro?
So I had a very extensive amateur career. I had 13 amateur fights. I went 12-1. I got 7 titles at 3 different weight classes. Right towards the last 3 fights, I was like, you know what? It's time to take this to the next level. Got on board with my coaches, and at 23, had my first pro fight for CFFC. Fought, I think, I'm not really sure how many times for CFFC, but most of my career with CFFC.
Yeah, I would say a full handful of fights came from the CFFC, because I was even looking up your stuff on Sheerdog and all. Literally, I'd probably say 80-85% of your fights came from the CFFC, which is awesome.
Best promotion out there.
Yeah. Rob does a great job, man. A lot of you guys are in the UFC now, and it is great to see that it's like a factory just pumping out fighters. It's awesome.
Dude, Philly has been the hotbed for fighters lately, man. Brady goes without saying. The Dawkins brothers, Jeremiah Wells.
Yes.
And, Zulkarnain.
Yes. That is the name that we forgot. Yeah.
One of my favorite people, inside and outside the gym. That guy is a humble killer. That guy. He fights, I think, next September 16th.
18th. Is it the 16th or 18th?
I think it's the 16th.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure, but
I can't remember the days of the week anymore, man.
Dude. But yeah, man, he's just, the sky's the limit with that guy, man.
All right, awesome. And I also like to ask this show that all fighters are human, or maybe you guys are like a machine when you go out there. But I love hearing everyone's answers with this. So you made your pro debut on April 26, 2014. Ironically, a CFFC 35 card against Jacob Owen. You had a tremendous first round finish. A rear naked choke. But I really like to ask this question. What were your nerves like prior to the fight? Were you nervous at all, or was it everyday business for you, coming from all your different achievements and stuff as an amateur?
I definitely felt like the experiences, fighting as an amateur definitely helped calm the nerves down. But it's bad when I don't have nerves. That's one thing I noticed in this industry. When I'm nervous per se, a little bit I'm gonna use the word scared, but I feel like my senses are sharper. I'm sharper, quicker to be on an opportunity in the fight, and I was definitely, feeling that a little bit before the pro debut.
I like that. Yeah, no, it's always good to be nervous. So like from like the boxers, as like crazy as it sounds, when they get hit with that jab and they feel it, then they feel like they're home. Like yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of them tell me that.
absolutely, man. After the first exchange or like the first, grappling exchange, it's like, okay, it's like I'm back in the gym now.
Yes. All right. And then so we did talk about this before we got on camera. Um so let's talk about your wild injury. I know that that was my first professional MMA fight, and this is how I got hooked, just like watching you Philly guys and stuff there. So this was my first fight card that I've ever seen. So like of course I saw you were on the card, and you rep Philly. So I was like, all right, man, let's go Pat. And then yeah, you had that crazy injury. So let's talk about the emotions like afterwards, and what you had to go through and stuff, and like your mental health through the whole entire process.
Great question, man. I'm actually glad you asked this question. You know, that particular incident, it brought me to such a dark place because at the time, I kind of thought, fighting was out the window. And this has been my passion for, the majority of my life. It made me like realize so much things, and the people that were there for me, like I have the most amazing girlfriend. She was there for me. The most amazing coaches and my team, they were there for me, man. They brought me back up. And, like I said, I got back. I told myself, I'm like, you know what? I could sit at home and mope around, or I could, at least try to do something. And little by little, I came back, and, by the time the summer hit, started feeling myself coming back around, getting out of that dark state of mind, a little bit more, positive. And we booked that fight for September after that. And, I finished my rehab. When I went to the doctor to get checked out again, he cleared me to fight. I was so friggin' happy. And my after every fight since then, I look at my coaches and I grab them. We always have like an emotional moment. I'm like, you guys were there for me at my lowest point, and I'll never ever forget that. And I feel like that particular event, I know it happened when I was 29 years old, and I feel like that was Pat, the young man turning into Pat the man, like the coming up like more mature, like the way I view life is totally different. My preparation for fights is different, as far as like the mental side of everything. And just, I appreciate things more, man. I see how bad things could get, and, it keeps me very humble. And, it changed me as a person for the better, I think.
That is awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, because I know it's tough for people to share and all, and I know that you're like an open book. So I thought that was well answered, and that is great to see that you overcame that, because that was a sick and nasty injury that I've ever witnessed in my whole entire life at a sporting event. That was wild.
Another thing too is I actually watched that clip before every fight, like since
Do
then.
you really? Wow.
It gives me like fight day, you could be so prepared, but you always have those lingering thoughts. But man, I watched that video. Oh, it sets a tone. It's like, all right, we don't want this again. We're going in and we're gonna get that win.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I will never ever watch that video ever again.
Bro, I don't blame you.
I can't do it.
It's not a good video.
That is crazy. Yeah, Nick, why don't you tell Pat about your crazy injury you had in high school?
Oh yeah, so going into my senior year, I was a big soccer player, and I ended up snapping my leg in half in a game, and ended up with
leg? Like what part of your
tib
leg?
and fib.
Oh,
so like Chris Weidman-esque, I guess. Yeah, brutal. And then I ended up with compartment syndrome, which is like a whole nother fiasco. But yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Now,
oh, good, dude. I ended up playing college ball, and I still play every once in a while. You know what I mean?
oh, dude,
So,
I'm glad you came back from that, man. That's
yeah,
terrible injury.
Yeah, I was like milking it too. I was like 17 years old. I'm like, I can't do life anymore. My mom was like, get the hell up.
I was also mad too because Nick was my catcher when on our baseball club team, and I wound up losing Nick for our playoff run. I was so mad. I was like, come on, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that was wild. So I guess to talk about more happier times, let's
I'll send you a picture, Pat, on Instagram.
Let's talk about when you got the call from the UFC to join the Usman and Masvidal card. Where were you, and how did you get that call?
So actually, I got the call in February. I was going to be on the Blades Derek Lewis card, and man, it was 6-day notice call. Hard, like very hard weight cut because we weren't expecting it. I was in shape somewhat, but had to lose like 23 pounds. I think it was 16, and we made weight, and the guy like missed weight by like 11 pounds.
That's right.
Yeah, so the fight didn't happen, but to go through that process, dealing with the media. Oh my God. Like to get used to that was awesome. But at the time it was horrible. Like I'll share a quick story with you if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dude, one of the media days, man, like it was like 2 days before the weigh-ins, and I'm cutting weight with my coaches, and I'm like a zombie. I'm on the floor, and, get a knock on the door. It's like the UFC staff. They're like, we needed Sabatini 20 minutes ago. Go downstairs to do like a media interview. And dude, my coach had to pick me up off the floor. I went downstairs, and I'm like, there's no way I could talk to anybody right now. There's no way I could talk to anybody. But I focused up, did the interview and everything. But man, you could see in the video, I was like all like sunken in. It was horrible. But anyway, that fight didn't happen. And then I got rescheduled for that following April against Tristan Connolly in Florida. And man, I was so grateful to be on that card. What a
great card.
Great card.
That was a really good card.
Yeah, really great card. And plus, it was in Florida too. I love Florida.
Yes, yeah, of course. So you did touch a little bit on like media day. So obviously that was like absolute hell when you were cutting weight for the first one. So what was so like when you came back to fight Tristan, what was that media day like? Like was it a lot more better than what to expect? Because I know you got to sign like a bunch of posters, you got to meet with different people you never talked to before.
I knew everything that was going to happen as far as like, procedure, and super smooth. Like I kept telling my coaches the whole time, like, man, what a far cry difference from February. This one way better. But yeah, that was a smooth weight cut, smooth fight week. Everything went very well that week.
All right,
dude,
great.
I don't mean to bust in here real fast, but you might have the
fine.
3 best coaches in the UFC currently.
Oh my God, dude.
I'm not even kidding. Like you think about jiu-jitsu as far as Daniel Gracie, John as far as striking and everything else motivating, and Purcell at NPR, like that's crazy, dude.
Dude, like I get the best of everything, man, with the striking, the wrestling, the sambo, the jiu-jitsu, it's it's obviously it's business first, but they bring like a whole new level of camaraderie to the game. It's awesome. I couldn't ask for 3 better coaches. I really got lucky.
Absolutely.
Of course. Now, how would you grade yourself on that fight against Tristan? So obviously, from my point of view, when I watch on ESPN Plus, absolute pure domination, and that was like totally Pat Sabatini's game plan. Now, how would you grade yourself on your evaluation of your first fight in the UFC?
2.5 rounds, great. The last half of the third round, not good, man. Not good. Not what not living up to my capabilities. You know what I mean? I wasn't happy with, and it kind of put a little in my own mind. You know what I mean? Definitely could have done better, but I was happy to get the win. That dude's very tough.
Mhm.
He's coming forward. Like no one can ever, no one will ever hear me say a bad word about that dude. That dude is one of the toughest opponents I've ever faced. But yeah, I loved how the first 2 rounds went, and the third round kind of, wasn't up to par for me.
Gotcha. I mean, I would have never knew that you were tough on yourself on the final round, but yeah, no, I thought it was absolute pure domination, and you look great.
Appreciate that, man.
Of course. Now this bring us up to your last fight. Congratulations on the win. That was a very impressive recovery for sure.
Yeah.
I know. So one thing I love about you is that you want to go all 3 rounds. Like, you're not a guy that wants to get him out of there in the first round and all. Like, you want to go and you want to show everybody. So like, you could see on your face that you were concerned and pissed off at yourself because you wanted to keep going. But that was tremendous recovery, because when you were on the ground, I was nervous for you. I was like, oh my God, here we go. But you recovered so fast.
Yeah, man. It's like you could prepare so much for, every possible outcome. But when you get in there, man, it's just like anything could happen. That's what keeps things so interesting with this sport. But yeah, I was able to recover and secure the submission. But already back to the gym. Can't wait to get in there again, man.
Of course. Yeah, that was a tremendous move. The heel hook. It's probably one of the nastiest submissions ever, and you could tell that he didn't want to quit, but you could just tell the more you were putting it on, the more things were tearing. So that was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, man. I hope he's all right, because I've actually been injured with that move before. That's kind of how I learned it. But yeah, man, I hope like his knee's all right, because he's a tremendous fighter. You know what I mean? He's got like a very bright future ahead of him. So hope he's not held out for too long.
Gotcha. Yeah, of course, man. And you were great with the sportsmanship and all. And you could just tell in your face that you were really concerned for him and all.
Yeah, man. Because like, dude, I've like as we talked about earlier, I've been there before. It's a horrible feeling, and I say this to everyone that asks me about it, but when you're in there, you'll do whatever it takes to win by any means. But at the end of the day, you don't want to maim or injure the opponent. You know what I mean? Because you have such a high level of respect when you fight somebody, because it's a bond that is unrivaled, in my opinion, that you can have with another being.
Oh yeah.
Pat, did you hear anything when you finally sunk in the heel hook like tightly?
To be totally honest with you, I kind of felt a little bit of something, but no, I didn't hear anything.
Okay.
From what I remember, it all happened so fast.
Yeah,
Right.
Maybe it just like hyperextended for his benefit. You know what I mean? Hopefully something like
extension, or small,
small something. Yeah.
Man. All right. Well, I do have a couple fun questions for you before I pass it on to Nick. So these are all like fun stuff, and it also keeps you thinking too. So if you could choose any actor in Hollywood currently to play yourself in a movie about your life and MMA, what movie actor would that be?
Man, that is a great question. A couple seconds to think about that one. What actor? Man. If he was younger, Al Pacino.
All right.
Al Pacino, I like that. Okay.
Yes, with the Scarface vibe. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's like the only thing that comes to mind right now as far as an actor.
I like it. Yeah, usually I'm pretty good at matching the fighters and stuff, but for you, very tough. I'd probably go maybe a younger Channing Tatum, not the dancing one. Maybe like maybe like the 21 Jump Street Channing Tatum.
Right, I'll take that. Yeah, that's a great movie, by the way.
Yes,
It is a
it
great
is.
Phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
Are we ever going to get a dancing celebration, Pat?
What'd you say?
I said, are we ever going to get a dancing celebration?
Oh man, who knows? I love to dance, bro. But when I'm in there, man, I think my celebration in there, like when I'm really happy with my performance, I just scream, man, and I punch. It's probably it.
I remember your one was absolutely like, it's almost like you can't help but get fired up after your CFFC 1 fight, and you went around like you were just like this with your arms and stuff like that.
Man,
you were fired up.
Is it when I got the belt?
Yeah.
Oh man, I was fired up, dude. I couldn't talk for about a week after from screaming. But man, that's a moment, like I'll remember for the rest of my days,
Mm-hmm.
Love it. All right, so my next one, are you a chicken wing guy?
Oh
Yes?
yeah,
I love it. All right, cool.
And I love chicken wings.
Love it. All right, so I did this with Chris Dawkins, but let me know if you haven't eaten at any of these places, and I would love them ranked if you could do that. So obviously everyone's had Curran's because there's multiple locations, or have you not?
I've never even heard of it.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Are you serious? Curran's Irish Inn? Wow.
You know what? Listen, I'm gonna remember this one, and I'm. But
all right.
Check it out.
We'll
all
take
right.
it.
How about Burnsy's Wings down in Port Richmond?
So that's 2 I gotta try.
Oh my God. All right, yeah. We're gonna have to scratch a chicken wing question then. Okay.
I'm missing a whole side of life, it seems like.
You are. Yeah. I don't know how you missed those 2. Wow. Okay. Let's go with what is one food item you cannot live without, whether it's helping you cut weight or if it's used as junk, it's fine.
I already noticed. Listen, sushi.
Sushi, I like that. Okay.
I could eat that every day for every meal. I love it, man. Did you guys ever go to Sakura in Ben Salem?
Yeah.
I haven't. No.
They do. Don't they also do the Japanese
Hibachi?
Yeah, hibachi. That's it.
Yeah.
The thing.
Yeah. I think they just bring it out. They don't do.
Yes,
they don't have,
you're right.
Yeah, sushi. Oh, their sushi's amazing.
Yeah, I usually go to the place on Grand Avenue. I think it's called To Go Thai or something like that. It's like right where like the movie theaters is on a Grant. But I'll have to try the place that you just recommended. Okay.
Yeah, man, it's really good. And I honestly, I've been going there for years. It's funny because after one of my fights, I went there 6 times. The guy that works there, he's like, "Oh man, it's this guy again." They have brought out, they knew my order and everything. They brought
That's
it
great.
You got to get a sponsor, dude.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, that's a good idea.
Yeah, or maybe since you've been there so much, they take one of your UFC trunks and put them in the rafters then.
Right.
Oh,
in the restaurant. That'd be funny. So me and Nick are Northeast Philly guys. Obviously, you can tell with our thick accents, and you're kind of the borderline because of the Ben Salem and being from Bristol and all too. But what's your favorite bar, would you say, in Northeast Philly? Like it could be from your early 20s or even now. What was one of your favorite spots?
Favorite spots, man. I haven't gone out too much in Northeast Philly, but in my area, have you ever been to the Mill Street Cantina?
Oh my God.
Yes.
The best.
It is good.
Mill Street Cantina. I like the manager there. His name's Chris Montero. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Their food is amazing.
Margaritas are on point.
You beat me to the punch. Frozen classic margaritas.
Yes.
You can't beat them. You just can't beat them.
My wife and I just moved out here, Levittown, so we're real close.
Oh, if you don't mind me asking, what section?
Elderberry.
Oh, dude, nice section, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. But that's one of the first. She loves her Mexican food, so we went out there, and now we're like, "Oh, what do you want to go back to Mill Street Canteen?"
That's the spot, man.
Really so good. Mill Street, in general, is really nice down there. I like it down there.
it's on the up, man. Yeah, bro. I think they're like Mill Street really has something great going on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely does.
Bringing a lot of life to the town.
All right. And then my last fun question before I pass it on to Nick. Hopefully you don't let us down after the whole chicken wing fiasco. I am still mind blown. You never had Currens or Burnsies. Man.
Karens and Burnsies. Listen, they're going to be getting a visit soon.
Yeah, so like there's one, is it in Bristol, Nick, right? It's a Bristol.
Ben Salem.
Oh yeah, Ben Salem. There's one
Road.
on State Road, and then there's one in Palmyra, I think, right? In Jersey. Okay.
Got you.
Yeah. All right. So what is your favorite cheesesteak spot in the city of brotherly love?
So listen, I'm really going to let you guys down right now. I hope you guys don't end the podcast after this, but
Oh boy.
I've had one bite of a cheesesteak in my life and I spit it out. I can't stand it.
Ah.
All right. That's
Man,
fair enough though, because you're a big
sorry.
sushi guy.
Listen,
Man.
I think.
Listen, honesty is the best policy.
We're gonna have to get him a Steve steak, and we're gonna have to send him the Currens.
You're right, dude. I'm not going to spit on.
All right, Nick, I'm going to pass it on to you. And this isn't a sponsorship, but I finally got my hands on a
Oh, no way.
There we go. I finally got the drink everyone's hype about.
There you go. I still haven't tried it.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. So, Pat, I wanted to talk to you about your relationship with CFFC from like the beginning till now. How is that relationship? How was it when you were there, and how is it still today?
So, from the minute I started fighting for CFFC, I immediately recognized that, like, wow, this league has it going on. They have the best fighters. They promote everything like the best of anyone on the regional scene. And, you know, like the promoter, Rob Haydak, he's actually my manager.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, you know, he's gone above and beyond as a manager. You know what I mean? I just, listen, we could sit here all day about CFFC. I love them. I think they're the best, and I think they're only going to get better, and I think they're only going to get bigger.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. Their events are so much fun to go to. He puts on a great show.
And it feels like the big stage, you know what I mean? Like the way everything goes down, super organized, you know, it's very, very professional.
That's what all the Philly fighters say.
I've heard it referred to as like the gold standard in regional MMA, and it's like the best way to put it.
Absolutely, it is. So I know we already talked about Philly on the map, but that I just want to re-hit on that because that couldn't be more true. I mean, think about it. Like Sean's about to get number 7 Kiesa. You're undefeated in the UFC. Chris is getting number 7. Kyle's getting number 14. Andre Petrosky just had a great performance. Jeremiah Wells is going to be a force in that division. I'm so looking forward to it. It has to make everybody in Philly that are fans of the sport even more interested in it right now.
Absolutely, man. Like it started with like Eddie Alvarez, Paul Felder,
Absolutely.
And then, you know, most recently Andre. You know, it's just. I think it's just going to keep getting bigger because, like I said, I'm in the gym pretty much every day, and I see talent in there, and it's crazy. Like a day like today, you know, I was just hitting pads. You know, I'm still like, you know, I'm training, but not like going back full tilt just yet. But to sit back and look at the talent in the room is just absolutely like mesmerizing. It's like, wow, I'm training with these guys. Every one of these guys should probably be in the UFC. It's great, the talent pool. And like I said, you know, I know that because I see them every day, and it's just where the world sees that.
Absolutely. So I wanted to hit on one little side note. You actually know my neighbor because he used to train at NPR.
What's his name?
Joe DeZolt. He used to wear Batman shirts all the time.
Dude, I went. Well, he went to Comolegan, I believe,
yes.
And Bristol. Yeah, Joe is. You know, Joe's the man. I haven't seen though, but he's a great guy.
Yeah, so I moved in like last year, and we were all drinking over his house one time, and I was like, you know what? And I was just messing with him, like grappling, everything like that. And I knew nothing, right? I didn't know anything, like what he does or what he did. And then all of a sudden, I'm on my back, and he can do like 14 submissions in one. Wherever I turned, he was like, he had an answer for. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
He's
like,
good.
come upstairs. And he like handed up this brown belt. And I'm like, oh shit, dude, never mind. I'm not doing that again. That's hilarious.
Oh man.
So I actually want to talk about your Naga, like your NAGA stuff. What was that like, and who was your best competition in that?
Oh man, like I used like I did a lot of Nagas, in the day, back in the day. But I remember like I think it was 3 summers in a row. I would go up. My dad, we would go up to it was somewhere in New England. It was in Connecticut, and Naga would host an event. But every time I've went there, there would be somebody that was either placed at Worlds or won Worlds. One of the guys I competed against, what was his name? His last name was Harmon. He was from, I think, Paragon BJJ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like there's a lot of people. Like back when I was a teenager, I faced like Gianni Grippo.
Okay.
There's been a lot of names, you know what I mean? Like, cause I can't think of like that. Tomas Lisbo, he like took like 3rd at black belt in the world, I believe. Like there's you don't know who you're gonna face, you know what I mean? That's what I like about it.
Yeah. You ever run into Gordon Ryan?
I did. It was not at a Naga event, but funny this. So I forget how long the match was, but he ended up catching me in a heel hook.
Oh, you grappled against him?
Yes. And my knee.
Oh shit.
And once that happened, I was out for a little bit. But when I was out, I started studying the leg lock system he used, the Danaher leg lock system.
Mm-hmm.
The next MMA fight I had, I won with the heel hook. The same heel hook I won with the last fight. Yeah, so if it wasn't for, grappling against him and, getting that injury, probably wouldn't really know what leg locks were.
Yeah. He's the best grappler in your opinion?
Oh, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Like he's beaten the who's who.
Everybody, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that even just watching his videos on YouTube is just like mesmerizing. And I'm really pissed off that he can't compete, or he chooses not to compete anymore, I think, because of his something wrong with his heart or something like that. Remember he signed with One Championship Grappling? Now he's not doing that.
News to he's not competing anymore?
That's the last thing I heard, because he signed with One Championship MMA and grappling, but then something happened. I don't know. Maybe it was like he said he had like a heart condition or something. I don't know. That's something I read.
And that's horrible, bro.
Yeah, because what a talent that guy is, man.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Total technician.
Yeah, right. Like, because he makes like the best grapplers in the world look like not the best grapplers in the world. Absolutely,
man. That just shows you, man, like there's such levels to it. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yep.
Crazy.
So this is kind of probably a tough question, but dream fight, they could either be retired or current in your division.
That is a tough question, man. Dream fight. Obviously, my dream fight would be to fight for the UFC title. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's
the no matter end. Who has it.
No matter who has it. Yeah, exactly.
So, what do you think of that fight? It's actually coming up. Ortega Volk.
What's the date on that?
I think it's UFC 268.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. I don't know the date, but it's probably November, I think.
Is that the one at the Garden, right?
The Garden.
Yeah. Okay.
That's gonna be a great fight. But I'm gonna have to go with Volkanovski.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Stay away from your jiu-jitsu guy.
Who you going?
I don't know, man. I think how good Ortega looked last fight, if he can, obviously keep that. It's kind of tough when you fight Max Holloway and he beats the brakes off you, and then he took a lot of time off, and he came back, shaved head Brian Ortega, looked good. He looked really good. But Volk, hey, man, he's beaten Holloway twice now, and Maybe the last one was a little questionable, but my God,
Yeah.
what a warrior that dude is.
Everyone says that last fight was questionable. I still haven't seen it yet, but yeah, man, you're talking like the best guys on the planet right there.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right. So big fisherman, I hear.
Oh, absolutely. So listen, it's literally like as we speak, it's starting to go from a hobby to like a little bit more of an obsession. I can't go a day without fishing. I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's hilarious. All right, so it looks like we have less than 1 minute left.
Yeah, we could start another one, Nick, or like if you want to wrap up on Instagram Live, if you're cool with that, Pat, we could wrap up on there.
Whatever you guys want, man, I'm in.
All right, cool. I just have a couple more questions. That's it.
All right.
Sure.
You
All
want
right, brother. Thank you so much, Pat. I appreciate it.
Of course.
You want to wrap up there, Nick? Or
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll do it on the podcast page, Pat.
All right, perfect. All right, Pat. Thank you so much again. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
All righty.